Let me ask you a question. Do you actually believe that you are living in the present? Right now, as you look at this screen, or when you look up at the light bulb on your ceiling, or follow a lonely sunbeam that just slipped through a crack in your door. You think you are seeing the world exactly as it is happening. But I want to tell you something that might make you feel unsettled. Everything you are seeing, all of it, none of it is the present. You have never and will never see reality at the very moment it occurs. The truth is, you are living in a museum of old legacies. Because light, the thing we admire as the fastest thing in the universe, is actually a glamorous deceiver. It moves at a terrifying speed, yes, but it still needs time, and in that brief moment it travels from an object to your retina. The world has already changed. When you look at the sun, you are seeing it as it was 8 minutes ago. If the sun suddenly exploded right now, you would still stand there, smiling in the warm sunlight for another 8 minutes before the darkness caught up. You are looking at a ghost. Even the person sitting across from you talking, that face, that smile, is already the past from a billionth of a second ago. Light doesn't show you reality. It only shows you postcards from the past that arrived late. It covers the true face of the universe with a delayed performance, yet makes us believe it is the present. And the most terrifying thing is not that light travels too fast, but that sometimes it intentionally slows down. It bends the rules, it delays reality, and that very deception is the only reason your eyes can see everything as clearly as you do now. Let me show you, if this deceiver decided to live honestly and never slow down again, what a horrific nightmare our world would become. Now, think about this. Light travels in a vacuum at approximately 300,000 kilometers per second. That is the ironclad law, the speed limit of the entire universe. But the moment light touches our atmosphere, the moment it pierces a raindrop or glides through a window pane, it does something very strange. It voluntarily slows down. It no longer maintains that frenetic speed. In glass, light slows down by about 30%. In water, it slows down by 25%. Scientists call this the refractive index. It sounds like a dry number in a physics textbook, a minor footnote that no one notices. But I want to show you why this sluggishness is the most important thing in the world. Imagine a universe where light is a stubborn entity, a worshiper of absolutes. Imagine if light decided to never slow down. It maintains exactly 300,000 kilometers per second, regardless of where it goes or what matter it passes through. What do you think the world would look like? Let me tell you, it would be a world of deadly stillness. First, look at your own eyes. The human eye operates on a simple principle: bending light. When light travels from the air into your crystalline lens, it slows down and is redirected to focus precisely on the retina. If light does not slow down, it will not bend. It will streak straight through your eye like an invisible arrow. You would never see your mother's face, the green of the leaves, nothing at all. You would be permanently blind in a world flooded with photons. And it gets much worse than that. Without the slowing of light, there would be no rainbows because light could not disperse. There would be no fiery red sunsets because the atmosphere could not filter the wavelengths. Earth would become an alien and hideous place. Sunlight would plunge straight to the ground with uncontrolled energy, incinerating everything it touches or simply sliding away without leaving any warmth. The atmosphere would be unable to retain heat because gas molecules could not interact with and slow down these energy-carrying particles effectively. We would be trapped between a cold darkness on one side and untamed radiation on the other. Life, which requires rhythm and pauses, would have no chance to begin. All of civilization, art, and what we call beauty is actually built on a tiny error: the slowness of light. We exist only because light agreed to lose its speed to connect with matter. And the sophistication of this design is not an accident. It is like a symphony where each note must be played a little slower to form a melody. But why would a massless particle like a photon submit to matter? Why would it agree to participate in this game of deception? When you go deep inside, you will find the answer is far more bizarre and astonishing. So, you've seen the charge sheet against light. It's not just a deceiver about time. It's the craziest rebel that physics has ever had to face. Let me take you deeper into this rabbit hole, where all your common logic will be torn apart. First, let's talk about its double-faced nature. Light doesn't know what it wants to be. When you aren't looking, it behaves like a wave, spreading and soft. But the moment you peek, it flinches and turns into a hard particle of matter. It plays hide-and-seek with our definition of reality, and the madness doesn't stop there. Einstein once pointed out that light holds the clock of the universe, but it is a greedy glutton for information. The faster you move toward its speed, the more your time slows down. As if light is intentionally isolating you so it can monopolize what we call the present. Even two particles of light can become entangled, telepathically communicating across millions of light years in the blink of an eye, defying every spatial limit we ever believed in. Do you know what's strangest of all? There is something called the paradox of light remembering its path. In the double-slit experiment, a photon seems to know the future, knowing exactly where you will place your measuring device to change its behavior from the past. It carries data from billions of years ago from distant stars, yet adamantly refuses to show you even 1 second of the present right before your eyes. And when you truly reach the core, you meet the photon. This is a truly bizarre character. It has no mass, and therefore, according to relativity, it has no sense of time. For a photon, the moment it is born in the heart of a star and the moment it hits your eye are one and the same. There is no waiting, no distance. Birth and death for it are a single point. It is an entity that exists outside the cycle of life and death that we endure. When you look at a photon, you are touching an eternal thing pretending to be a delayed messenger. But it is this timeless entity that is the only thread weaving our entire existence together. So, after everything we've been through, I want you to look back. Look at the wonders you've always taken for granted. A fiery, red sunrise, the clear eyes of the one you love, or the twinkling specks of distant stars in the night sky. All of them, without exception, are the result of a grand deception. They are the fruit of light's acceptance of being bent, delayed, and slowed down. Think about that rhythm. Light slows down so your eyes can focus. It slows down so the atmosphere can hold on to warmth. It slows down so the green leaves can absorb energy. It slows down so that time can pass in a way that a flesh and blood creature like you can perceive. If tomorrow, light decided to obey its absolute law, if it refused to slow down and streaked at maximum speed through every corner of the universe without regard for matter, then this symphony would immediately turn into a silent scream. There would be no one here to admire beauty, for beauty inherently needs delay to form. We exist because light accepted being late to reality. So, the next time you see a lonely sunbeam slipping through a crack in the door, remember that it's not just light. It is a gift of delay. I want you to feel a real chill, a sensation that has nothing to do with temperature. Because at this very moment, as you are looking at me, you are actually looking at a ghost of the past. You are touching a grand deceiver, the one who rebelled against its own nature just to give you a chance to be present here and to wonder about yourself.